Testing, testing, testing.
We can hear you pretty good, Chris.
Okay, well, I can't get my screen up.
It's hardly worth even fixing those anymore because.
Make sure your camera is on.
Yeah.
Make sure it's not blocked. Make sure you don't have the little piece in front of it for security reasons. Shove it to the side so you can see.
Yeah, I've done that. And I can see myself on my monitor.
We can't see you on the video here yet.
No, nor can I. Can't figure it out.
Okay. I'll watch for you.
Gee, thanks.
As soon as you turn the light on, I'll watch for you.
Hello, audio. Hello, audio.
I can hear you, Mike.
Okay.
Oh, neighbor.
What's up, Mark?
Oh, we're having all kinds of fun getting started down here tonight.
Was it wet outside?
Yeah, just a little bit.
I've only got about 3/10 of an inch in the bucket right now.
Yeah, I saw that we got a little bit of a spit around the house here. Nice little shower there for about 10 minutes and then it was gone.
Yeah, well enough to raise the humidity to 96%. Did you do any FT8 today?
Do what?
Did you operate any FT8 today?
I did, yeah, some 20 meter. I did about 10, 12 contacts before I unhooked it because I seen the rain coming. So I said, to heck with this.
Well, I've got to, I guess I got to get a better antenna.
No, it was 20 meter was great today. I mean, before all the storms come up, it was busy, mainly on the East Coast. There was about, I don't know, a dozen on the West Coast, but boy, the East Coast was covered up real good. And that's where I was getting most of my contacts. I did get one up there in Washington State, but
Yeah.
most of them were on the East Coast.
I've only got 10 in the logbook, and one of them was on 20 meters.
I looked at 17 earlier first, and there was only about a half a dozen, I don't know, maybe 10 on there. And I thought, well, that's not much. So I just went ahead and went over to 20, and that's when I started hitting them right and left.
Yeah. Well, I had 4 on 40 and 6 on 30 and 1 on 20. Not too bad.
No, it'll be better tomorrow when it's not raining.
How much power do you run normally?
I'm using 100 watts.
Oh, okay. That's why you're getting all those contacts.
Yes.
I'm only running 20.
Now you need to crank it up a little bit because you're getting stepped on
Yeah,
real
imagine.
easy.
Especially DX.
Yes.
I've worked a few. I've worked Cuba. Where else have I been?
Yeah, I used to do a whole lot better when I step up with 100 watts, and I've been running 100 watts now.
Okay. I still want to wear this poor radio out before it even gets a year old.
Well, I think that's why I got the West Coast one today up there in Washington State. He
Yeah.
come back to me pretty quick. It's because I had the 100 watts going.
Don's got his camo on today. I got to smile at him.
I'm sorry I missed y'all last weekend. Sarah and I were binge watching some cool shows, and I just totally brain farted.
Hey, that's all right. We did note your absence, though. We'll
Well,
be docked.
I'm sure the world didn't fall apart because I wasn't there. So,
We are going to dock your pay for not showing up.
well, yeah, with that, I'm good with that. One less donut.
Hey, what's the ambient temperature outdoors there right now?
Say that again, Mike. Sorry, I don't have my volume up very loud.
What's your temperature outside?
Let me get you an official, but I'm thinking we're probably about 80. But let me see what we're doing here.
Well, while you're looking, I'll tell you what it is here. 71.2 degrees.
Oh, you guys are loving that, aren't you?
Well, we just had a rain shower come in this afternoon, so it brought
You
it
guys,
down.
you guys had to freaking put jackets on.
Almost, yeah. Denny's gonna have.
Yeah, we're in the low 80s, 83-ish.
Yeah, and then the front came through and the showers and the lightning like crazy, but the temperature stayed down.
Or the storm's gone.
Pretty much. I hadn't looked at radar, but cloudy wise, it's just cloudy and a little bit of blue out there every once in a while.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't look like the Weather Service still does their national radar thing like they used to, and I'm rather disappointed with that. But yeah, let me. Not sure why you guys would want to see me in a bitter, but I'll turn that up a little bit. Hey, Ken. Thanks for the manual. That actually arrived Monday a week ago, and that's why part of the reason I feel bad about. Oh shoot, where'd I put it? That's part of the reason I feel bad about not checking in last week. But I did get it, and I appreciate it.
Ken, you're muted.
Oh, he'll figure it out. He's a big boy.
I think I got it.
There you are.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that, Don. Glad you got it okay. I sent it the day after we talked.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. I got it the next Monday.
It's like a brand
well,
new manual, isn't it?
Say again?
It's like a brand new manual.
Oh, it's pristine. I'm gonna take good care of that. Yeah, at one time I had a really, really, really old one, like probably from the 50s or the 60s. And it was, of course, full size. I have no idea what happened to it.
Well,
I probably gave it away to somebody.
I never did use mine. I used it, for a few years, but that thing was like brand new and I didn't use it. So I sold it. Sold it too cheap. Yeah. VNA. Takes care of
Yeah, that's where I'm going. Yeah, that's
it. And
I got a
had,
lot of I got rid of my service monitor and
you
my
showing me the weather? Maybe I
That's
better.
That's for Don.
yeah.
Oh, that's for Don. I don't know if he can.
I got rid of I had it was actually a cell phone service monitor, but it went down to about like 5 megahertz or 50 megahertz. So it was pretty useful for ham stuff. But yeah, I made somebody a deal on that, and I had a Philips O-scope which I donated to a local local ham buddy, but really for his vocational group. And I was happy to have them find it a home because it just sometimes it's just too much stuff to move.
Yep. Well, I've lived here for 40 years, Don, so I've collected a lot of crap.
My goodness, Ken, you're never moving.
Yeah. Hey, we got Sam here.
Uh,
Hello,
uh,
Sam.
oh,
Well, and I'm new here.
You are.
Sam's young enough. He might actually move at some point in his life.
Well,
Maybe, but I've been in Norman now for 7 years, and I didn't know how permanent it would be. And I don't know. It's looking like more and more. This is
Where are you in Norman, Sam?
on the west side.
Well, that's the good side.
Gee, thanks.
How far west?
Just off of 36th and Main, in those those.
Oh no! You need to get the other side of the lake, dude.
Of a what?
You need to get the other side of the lake, dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's where the cool people are.
But
I'm just yanking your chain, man. But yeah, no, I used to live at 24th and Alameda. Pretty much about a half mile behind the 7-Eleven there, assuming it's even still there. But yeah, and then we moved out to Thunderbird.
it's nice. My 4-year-old is starting to go camping, and we camped at the dam the other night. And that's a cute campground. No one's out there. And yeah.
Did you make some damn jokes?
No, he's only, yeah, I guess I should have missed opportunity.
Oh, okay. Yeah, when it gets to like junior high school, you can do that
for sure.
so Sam, what kind of ham radioing do you do? You do
Well,
satellite, or you do 2,200 meters, or what?
I'm really kind of new to this. I got my license, my tech, like 15 years ago, and life got busy. Didn't do much with it, talk to friends or whatever, but never really in Tucson. But the thing is that I've been actually lugging around, it's behind me, this Kenwood TS520 for like 30 years because I wanted to get into it when I was a kid. A family friend sold it. And so this summer, but I hadn't really thought about radio too much. And this summer, a friend got me an SDR, and I started playing with that. And I got the up converter, and then I got more and more into it. And so finally I plugged in the radio, and I've just been to HF, right? I mean, like, that's just like, I think it's amazing. I tested for general, and then a week or so ago, and then they're like, you should go for extra. And so I'm like, I like taking tests. And so lo and behold, that's where I'm at. I don't know much, but I'm learning a ton. So the thing is lo and behold, I built the dummy load, tried to tune that up, no power up. So I'm so excited about this. And I don't have a rig. And so it's kind of a pain, but and then I've got a kid with a heart thing, and so I'd love to be there in person, but I'm really glad you guys are doing this on Zoom. And so I appreciate that. And but pretty much I have been spending the last 2 or 3 months, scouring the internet, being part of communities, doing all this stuff, and realizing I just need to talk to guys. Like this is like I'm really, really into this. I'm starting to learn CW. I like how it makes my brain tickle a little. Like I dig this a lot. But so I'm kind of all in.
This is really a good club to be in because there's a lot of knowledgeable people here that can help you and willing to help you.
That's awesome. I really appreciate it because yeah. And then just looking through the website, and you guys are doing a lot of stuff. And so I appreciate that. But yeah, I just want to get on the air. So that's what I'm trying to figure out, my kind of next steps on how to do that. Kind of go from there.
Get you a HF radio that's working and put up your dipole antenna and go for it.
Mhm.
I do a lot of digital mode. It's kind of the thing now. And Mike there, he's got a new radio and he's been doing FT8 digital mode, working the world. He's been doing really good with his new radio. I don't know where he's located in your pictures at, but he's right above you, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
And he's been doing a lot of FT8, and I've got a whisper beacon running on 2 meters for the local people, and I've just had it running maybe 5-6 days, and Mike's been helping me get that set up. And Peter also, he lives in Norman. Mike lives southwest 89th Street. Kind of, I guess it's Moore. You're in Moore, aren't you, Mike?
Well, mailing wise, Oklahoma City, but I'm on the Cleveland County side of the line, so
Yeah.
just barely in Cleveland County.
I wouldn't even claim Oklahoma City. I live in Moore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We shop in Moore quite a bit, and
Yeah.
and Midwest City, so we're kind of split. But my wife grew up in Dell City, so she knows most of that area. And anyway, Sam, we need to get together and get that 520 working for you. You said there's no output?
No output, and so I don't know much, but I tried to learn as much as I can, and it hasn't been fired up in 30 years, and some of the caps don't look so hot. But I don't know what's going on. When you take these exams, they teach you how not to die, so I was real careful when I was looking. I opened the finals cage, so I was like real careful and made sure. And like, I realized that like some of those disc caps are kind of bloated, but like, I don't know. It's another part of the hobby too, is that like, I've got a Pixie kit on order, and I'm gonna learn how to solder, and I'm like kind of into a lot of this stuff, but yeah, if you wanted to, any help would be amazing, because it receives great, and it's been wonderful listening to folks. But
something that might help is to scour YouTube for videos about guys rebuilding those 520s. I have an 820, and I want to rebuild it also, but I didn't have the patience or the knowledge to do it. So but I had a little extra cash, and went for the Yaesu 991A, which they call a shack in a box. Goes from, I think it's 160 meters all the way to 70 centimeters on one radio.
It's a pretty good setup for the money. It covers all the HF through 2 meters and 432, like Mike said. But I don't remember. It's around $1,200. Is that right, Mike?
You know, I try to block that out of my memory, Ken, and so Judy doesn't have to be reminded, but yeah, I think it was a $1,200 radio.
So, Sam, that's about the price you're gonna have to pay for a good radio, and you might as well break down and do it, even if you get your 520 working, because it's old technology and you're not gonna be able to do digital stuff with it. And I'm pretty sure it won't be long till you'll be wanting to do some digital stuff. Hello, Paul.
Now, I want to throw this out here, and I'd be happy to hear Mike and Ken's critique, but ICOM 718, which has been around for quite a while, good 10 years, they're about $600. 160 through 10, good old basic HF rig. $620.
That's not a bad price.
I walked into, finally got my audio working. I heard somebody talking about 520s. Curious what I missed about that one.
Well, Sam here, the new guy has a 520 and it receives good, but no transmit.
Yeah. I've got one that I got for free just by, it was like a win in the lottery type thing. Works. I haven't put on transmit, and I've been looking online about getting it restored, and there's some people that do work on that, but that's the kind I made my first contact ever when I was in high school, the high school club station. And when I heard I could get one, the guy was giving it away free. It worked last time he used it. I've received on it. I think it just needs a little tune up on there. But for nostalgia purposes, I couldn't pass getting that up grabbing that as a use it part-time, whatever. So
Price was right, wasn't it?
what's that? Oh yeah.
Price was right.
The email rolled in. I was the first response, and
Yeah.
drove across town and got it. So it has nostalgic value for me.
Yeah. I had one too, years ago. The best I can remember, it drifted on 10 meters.
Yeah, like you're saying, probably I know that, I'm not going to do anything on the newer the newer modes, but want to get on CW or sideband sometime with more power than my KX3, then I use that.
That's interesting. You're talking about the KX3. Like, it's probably out of my price range. I'm kind of on a budget right now in the stage of my life with the young family and everything. But the KX3 obviously is not on a budget. But I have been really into reading and doing all this stuff all summer long. And the kind of the QRP, like the idea of having a rig at home and then a lighter rate rig, and then I'm learning CW as well. Like, that really appeals to me, or at least I think it does. I mean, who knows? Once I go out and start doing it, my interest might change. But that looks like a lot of fun, having something small. And obviously your radio is amazing because of what it can do. But even the QCX or something.
Yeah, but you were in the situation I was in for a long time. This is the KX3 and the band adapter. It's my first real station, the really good one. I had the Heath HW8. Well, I still have it, but I used that for years. So this is my first really good one ever. Just kept putting money aside for a long time, and pandemic was like, well, this is a good time. It'll give me a project to put together. So, but the 520, if you can get the thing going. I started on CW when I was in high school. It's all I could do. So that's why I got to enjoy it, just because that was the only option I had. So
you can't go wrong with the Elecraft. Did you say yours was a KX3?
Yeah, the little one, because I figured if we travel, go in the RV, I looked at it for that capability, or if I want to do the parks on the air thing, or go portable, I can do that. So that's why I went for that. And it's amazing all the capabilities in that KX3, how they exceed what's in the 520. How technology's improved, but
it's like this big, right?
Yeah.
I'm used a K3 for many years, And I really like that Elecraft products.
Yeah, I bought the kit. A friend of mine who's more or less, I guess, he was 2 years older than me in high school, the president of the radio club and all, more or less my Elmer. He's the one that gave me the push to do the kit version. And I'm glad I did. It was because I ran into a problem that had I not built it, even though you're putting together the modules following their instructions, but had I not, I wouldn't have been able to figure out, oh, if I bend this little piece of metal, little tab, a little, then I'd have been sending it back for something simple. So, but it was fun.
Well, I've got a 2-meter whisper net running, guys. If anybody can copy 2-meter digital mode, I've got a 2-meter whisper net running. And like I said before, Mike has been helping me get this up and running, and it's running right now. And I appreciate all signal reports. Don't think you can copy me up there, Don.
Speaking of running right now, Ken, your last 4 reports on your DB was a -0, -1, -2, and the last one was -5. So is that signal strength, the DB?
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
much. And I noticed whenever Peter was copying me the other night, when dark rolled around, my signal strength went up. So I'm not sure. I think a lot of that changing in my signal strength is due to noise on the receive end.
Okay.
Follow me?
Yeah.
If your
Well,
noise level goes up, that SNR is signal to noise ratio, and if your noise goes up, it covers up my signal and makes my signal strength less. But
Yeah. I have a very strong signal at about 1100 hertz. I still
they're all the
don't know
time.
what it is.
They're
Pardon?
all the time.
It is when I have the antenna on. It's not coming from the shack. It's coming from the airwaves. Because I
It's
can.
probably Tinker Feel.
It could be something out there.
But I've got one here too, a little above 1200, and it's some kind of a birdie.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it. I'll just stay away from it.
Yeah, but it's continuous. And then I can see on the waterfall, and I can see that on the waterfall, and that 1100 one is a lot stronger than you are.
Yeah.
That could be covering you up a little.
Well, that's a long ways from me, so it shouldn't be bothering me.
Yeah. Don, you got anything up for HF?
Oh, I still need to make a hole in the brick house.
You need to join this hole in the wall gang down here.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. It possibly could happen this weekend. We'll see.
I see.
Well, I'm going to quit razzing you about it.
No, please continue razzing me about it.
I'll give you a break.
If you don't keep razzing me about it, I'm never going to get it done.
I decided to name us the hole in the wall gang.
Yeah, I actually did a bunch of measurement. In fact, I'll certainly do them again before I drill the hole, but I've got a general idea of where I can put.
Sam, what we're talking about, Sam, is we cut a hole in our brick wall to run PVC through there and run our feed line to our antennas. That's what we're talking about, Sam.
Yeah.
You may have to do that someday yourself.
It's one thing if you got wood siding or vinyl siding, that's easy. But if you got bricks, you gotta figure out and do it right the first time.
I thought Peter said he was gonna be on here tonight.
No, he might be.
He's,
We'll
he's,
see.
he's pretty busy, I know.
What's he up to?
I think his job keeps him pretty busy.
Oh, okay. You know, he's about my age. He ought to be about darn near retired.
I'm gonna retire one of these days when I get
Um,
old. When I get
I'm
old, I'm
actually-
gonna retire.
Yeah, I'm actually eligible to retire in about 8 weeks.
That sounds good.
I
No.
can't
If you,
because I need to pay off I borrowed some money off various reasons, but the main ones, I borrowed some money off my retirement plan. And if I don't pay it back, I got to pay a penalty.
yeah, oh, you're saying you can retire, but you're not going to? Is that,
Yeah, I'm probably going to give it another year, too.
hey, Mike, another Mike showed up.
There's another Mike.
I don't know what I'm doing here.
Hey, Mike.
Where you at, Mike?
Well, I'm driving to the Norman Zoom Elmer's meeting.
Oh, I thought you said zoo.
I'm sorry.
I thought you said you was driving to the zoo.
No, I was going to.
What's the difference?
I'm
Okay.
sure that's what you said. It's going to
Yeah.
the Norman Zoo.
I'm trying to get it to work on my phone,
It's working.
and then I was going. There we go. I was looking for the mute button so you wouldn't have to listen to all the noise.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, I named us the Hole in the Wall Gang.
What's that?
I named us the Hole in the Wall Gang. All of us has been trying to get Don to knock a hole in his brick wall.
So
Yeah,
Dawn,
I'm not quite a fully fledged. I'm only an associate member at the moment.
I'm trying to connect.
You're break.
There we go. There we go. I got it on my Bluetooth so I can hear it through my truck speakers.
Oh, okay.
So, did Don say he's got that hole in his wall yet?
No,
Oh.
he said that he was an associate member of the Hole in the Wall Gang.
Yeah, you guys need to keep busting me about that, and I will get it done.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I at least need to go get the long drill bit out. I've actually got a long, masonry bit out there. I can go throw a spotter hole and see if I'm at least in the neighborhood.
So you're making progress. You've got measurements and you've got the drill bit out. So you're making progress.
Yeah. I got that. Yeah, it's only taken me 3 weeks to do that.
There you go. Well,
What we got?
how many beers in between?
You mean how many cases of beer? Well, I mean, we're talking in the evenings and the weekends, and we had and as a side note, we
Ken's
had
got a drill bit here for you. See the drill bit that Ken's got there?
Here you go, Don.
Can you see it?
What you got there, Ken?
It's got a drill bit for you.
Oh my! Yes, that's like a coax sized drill bit.
Just knock a few spaces out with that, and then chip out the rest with the hammer. You'll be
Well,
okay.
yeah, I honestly figured even a 1/4 or 3/8 bit, and I can chip out the rest with a hammer, or take it out with a masonry saw. I was thinking if I can get two next to each other and get the recip saw in there, I can probably figure out a way to neatly take a 1/2 a brick out. Maybe.
Hey, Mike, ASN Mike,
Yes.
can you get on 2 meter? Can you do 2 meter digital mode? I'm transmitting a 2 meter beacon, 2 meter whisper beacon.
Well, I
been-
don't know. What I've got, I mean, everything I've got is analog with the exception of that Radioddity GD77. So I don't know if that'll do it or not, but other than that, I've got nothing.
You need an all mode transceiver.
Okay.
for what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah, he probably doesn't have that one in the car, but, or if you
I
want to
don't
see
have
if, he- yeah,
Yeah, I don't have that. Gosh, I would like to.
So we got, Steve over here is not talking to us. Steve, what are you up to tonight?
Am I there?
Yeah, I heard something there, Steve. Tell us what's up at your place tonight. Your microphone's muted, Steve. KG5B.
there he is.
There you are.
That work better?
I can hear
Much.
you.
I say not doing much here at all. Just watching the rain and staying cool.
You guys get some pretty good rain this evening?
Now I think we got about close to an inch out here toward Tuttle.
Are you live in Moore, or
No, I live out here in Tuttle.
and you got some pretty good rain in Tuttle?
Yeah, good shower.
Yeah. Well, it missed me. It rained really good in South Oklahoma City and Moore, but it didn't get this far east. I live over close to Shawnee Lake.
Well, you're a full reach for me.
Why's that?
You're about as far east of Norman as I am west.
Yeah. Can you do? I just started a 2-meter whisper beacon a few days ago. Can you copy that? That would really be a good test for me. See if I could get to Tuttle.
Probably not. I don't have anything set up right now.
I don't mean right now. Whenever
I
you,
don't. All I got is
Okay, that's why I
it's
asked.
an ICOM with D-Star.
you need an all mode transceiver to be able to do digital mode. To be able to do whisper or FT8 or any of those digital modes on
Ken?
2 meters.
Yeah. Well,
Ken, you can actually listen with a 2-meter. Well, no, that would be trying to listen to FM. You're right, all mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think you could even hear any.
No.
I guess if you were strong, you might be able to hear something, but you wouldn't have any way to decode it.
Yeah.
so
FM.
does it just have to be digital, or does it have to be D-Star DMR?
No, that won't work. That won't do it.
Is that-
So if I have a digital mode on my radio, it should work.
no.
It's
No.
on what digital mode you're talking about. A lot of
I
different
don't know.
digital.
I haven't ever really played with it.
Yeah, there's a lot of different digital modes. Are you familiar with Whisper? Do you know what Whisper is?
No, yeah, I know what it is, but no, I'm not familiar.
It's it's a weak signal. It's a Whisper is a weak signal where you transmit a signal. The station on the receiving end receives it, decodes it. The computer uploads it to the internet, and I can see it immediately, not immediately, but a minute or so later on my computer screen, and I can see what my signal strength is at that location. And that gives me an idea of how well my station is working, how well my antenna is working. I can change antennas and see if I can get an average of one antenna, change antennas, see how well it's working with the other antenna. You can do propagation. If you want to work Europe, you can go by the Whisper report and tell when you need to get on the air and talk to Europe or Australia or wherever. So that's what it's for.
No, I have not got into that.
How about you, Paul?
I have not. I will have a question for, or something to throw out to everybody whenever there's a dead downtime when.
Now's a good time, Paul.
Okay, well, this is going to show my age as far as how long I've been doing the ham stuff. Is there anybody on here who, well, maybe in a ham background, 1976 or so? Ken,
Say
probably.
1976. I got my ham license in 1960.
No, okay. Well, if anybody knew or remembered, way back in May of 76, QST had an article and they did, well, I guess I should ask if anybody's familiar with the venerable Tuna Tin 2 little QRP rig that they did.
Yeah.
Little,
Yeah.
hey, where is it there? Hey,
Mhm.
it doesn't want to show up on there, but anyway,
Nope.
here you go.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the friend of mine that I from high school I mentioned is the more or less my Elmer. He found that article or that issue and sent that to me. Well, anyway, he's not active in radio anymore, but he does a lot of arts and crafts style copper work, hammered, handmade copper, all kinds of stuff. And so one time I had found a kit online, guy up in Maine that puts together the kits and had the various upgraded Tuna Tin versions. And so anyway, we were talking about the combination of old technology and new and all that. So what he ended up doing was, and I hope this shows up on here, he ended up making a chassis out of the hammered copper in the arts and crafts style while I put together no, it won't show. I don't know if you can see that there.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
he put that together there.
That's
So-
pretty cool.
So anyway, so it was just something that, combining the interests. He's not active in the radio, but he does the metal work. I'm doing the radio stuff. And since we both were new hams back when that issue came out, we thought that would be a fun project. Now, the only problem I have is that at this point, since I'm getting my station and getting everything set up, I don't have a 40-meter antenna. So I'm throwing that out. If there's anybody ever has a 40-meter antenna that works on CW, wants to help test this thing out, give a yell. I'm easy. I've got a 40-meter dipole, but it's cut for the phone band. It's not up. So hasn't actually been tested. It powers up, it puts out a signal, but that's about it.
My 40-meter antenna, I don't have a coax running to it at the moment.
That sounds kind of like my dipole for 40.
Mhm.
I have an antenna, but nothing to it.
Well, you could certainly put some pigtails on the 40 dipole and bring it down to CW.
That is true. I hadn't thought about that.
No more power than you're putting out.
Yeah,
No,
honestly, it'd probably be just fine.
Yeah, that's true. I think they're about 350 milliwatts. So
And it's not like it has a built-in fold back like your modern rigs,
yeah,
It's going to put out what it's going to put out. I would just throw it up with the voice antenna. And if you feel you really got to put some pigtails on it, put them on.
yeah, maybe I'll do that. Give it a shot. And it's portable enough. I built the power box for my KX3. Could just hook up a connector for this, take it out somewhere, and give it a go.
Yeah, that would also be a good candidate for if you're going to go do like Parks on the Air or Mines on the Air. Mines on the Air is a new thing. MOTA.
Mines on the Air.
Yeah, Mines on the Air. That's a new thing that's coming up. Or whatever. An NFED. A 40-meter NFED might not be a bad thing either, but you're going to need about a 47, 49 to 1 balun?
Well,
Yeah, maybe I'll try it. I've got the little NFED thing with the little matching thing from the QRP guy's website.
Well, that's certainly QRP.
Yeah, maybe I'll give that a shot.
All right, guys,
Do that.
I'm going to jump
Parks
on.
okay.
We'll see
See you
you.
later, Mike. He's at the zoo, I guess.
Get out there and start chipping on that wall.
Chris, how about you? What are you doing today?
I'm sorry, say again?
What are you up to today?
I've been cutting down trees and cutting up limbs and hauling limbs, and it's been a fun day.
Sounds like it. I've climbed my tower 4 times today, and it really got hot up there on that tower.
I don't doubt it.
I moved a 2-meter antenna that was on a side arm. I moved it up where I could rotate it and changed it from vertical to horizontal. And so I could run this 2-meter whisper beacon, which needs to be horizontally polarized. So I got that working, but it sure pooped me out, man.
How high would you have to go?
It's up about 45 feet.
That's a good climb.
Yep, 4 times, up and down, up and down. But it's not as hard as doing tree limbs. I have to say that's a little bit of work too.
Well, all of it has to be done.
Yeah, we just burned yesterday 2 burn piles of leftover limbs that was from that last ice storm we had. Just now getting them burned.
I can't get a permit.
Yeah.
I burned out here for about 18 years. And one night I was burning some stuff that got a little smoky, and the fire department showed up and pulled out their fine pad and proceeded to start to fine me $500 for being a bad boy.
Wow.
And I told him, I said, I've been burning out here ever since I bought the property, and I'm pretty responsible. And basically they were saying I made too much smoke, so somebody turned me in.
Yeah.
But
Where do you
then
live at?
I live at 84th Avenue Northeast in Franklin, here in Norman.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm actually in McLeod city limits, and I'm supposed to get a permit, but I've lived here. I built this house about 40 years ago, and I've never had a permit, but maybe I better start getting one.
Well, they warned me
You asked
if I didn't get a permit, I was going to be in trouble.
Yeah. Did they give you a ticket?
No, he let me go that time.
Yeah.
But I've not burned since. So now when I cut my trees and cut my limbs, I have to haul them up to the front pasture and dump them.
Yeah.
Well, now, what would it take to get a permit?
The permit here is free. All you got to do is call them.
Okay, so you call them, or you got to show up at the fire station.
Here, you just call them and tell them, and that way they're aware of it. So if you burn down everybody, they know who to come and get.
Well, yeah, no, I understand that. Yeah, when I was in Kansas, now we had to physically go to the fire station. They'd give you a permit for 30 days.
Yeah.
But you still had to call them before you burned.
The rule here is you have to go to the fire station on the day that you want to burn. The temperature has to be below a certain level. The winds have to be below a certain level. The humidity has to be above a certain level.
Mm-hmm.
And you can burn from 9 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon, and the fire has to be out.
Well,
And I've not found any time that all of those parameters came together at the same time.
That's pretty tough in Oklahoma, and low wind.
No kidding.
Wind.
Yeah, at least when we were in Kansas, they wanted you to burn during daylight hours.
Oh yeah.
But if you said you were burning for a party, you just said, hey, I'm having company, and we're making an evening fire, and we're gonna be right around it. And they were cool about it as long as you told them that, and as long as you called them ahead of time. So yeah, they're probably a little less anal than Norman. I mean, Norman's very Norman.
I always burn early in the morning whenever there's no wind. And that way you have all day long for it to burn. And then I put water on it in the evening to make sure it's out. So I'm trying to be pretty safe about that.
Well, I don't have $500 to spare, so I'm not going to mess with it.
Well,
Well,
I don't know anybody that does. Besides that, I'd rather spend that on ham radio.
I've actually checked into it here where I am in Indianapolis, and I'm not in Indianapolis proper. I'm actually even in a township. I'm not even in a city. But I can't do it. I can't burn. I mean, my neighbors burn, but officially we cannot burn. So I make sure things get disposed of.
Does a fire pit count?
Well, I could have a little fire pit, but yeah, I mean,
Well, yeah,
normally
make it
when I've
bigger.
got a bunch,
Make it
I've got
bigger.
a bunch of brush, I've got a bunch of brush.
Yeah, I got a bunch of blocks and rocks, and I'm gonna make about a 20-foot circle. All
Yeah.
right, maybe
A
more.
20-foot circle? Okay.
Maybe
Yeah,
more.
I'm thinking your normal like 5 or 6 foot fire pit.
Honestly, about a 5 foot, 6 foot, maybe.
Yeah. It's I could definitely get away with that, but yeah, it's fortunately most of the times that I've had excess brush, I've also had excess scrap or construction scrap, so I've had a dumpster out here already.
Oklahoma City's supposed to do a large trash pickup once a month, and that includes limbs. And after the storm, as recently as a month ago, they were still behind catching up on that. But they finally did pick up my last pile. But and I have more to put out, but or burn.
Yeah,
Build my fire pit.
I'm kind of resisting burning because
Well, if it gets out of hand and you damage somebody else's property, that's a bad deal.
well, yeah, and see, we're in the township, but the property adjacent to me is in Avon City, and they're in an HOA, and they've never even once waved at me. You know,
Sam, W5SGD, that's a good call sign.
Thank you.
I was just thinking, if you take your radio to Elmer's night, take it down there, there might be some people down there that's familiar with it that might be able to help you with it.
Okay.
You know, you wouldn't lose anything, and you'd get to go down and meet the gang.
Okay.
especially if you give them a heads up ahead of time and have somebody bring a dummy load.
Well, yeah.
Have somebody bring a watt meter and a dummy load. And,
You need a power supply, watt meter, dummy load, but they may have that there, or if you let them know ahead of time, they can make sure they have it.
I was going to say, I don't think 520 needs a power supply. I think 520 is a direct plug-in.
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, I think 520's got its own. Is 520 got tube finals or is it solid state?
It's got,
Two
it's a
finals.
hybrid. It's got finals. Yeah.
Yeah, 520 I think has tube finals. And that might be it. Maybe you're not getting it tuned right, or maybe the tubes are shot.
Yeah, exactly.
That
But you know,
could
the
be,
thing is, yeah, I went to the service manual and then it's like, oh man, well, first of all, I'm out of my element. And then second of all, they're talking about, testing equipment that's also 40 years old.
Right.
And then so it's like, it's like,
I had a 520. I don't remember it plugging straight into the wall. Does yours plug straight into the wall, or is it?
Yeah.
Mine does, yeah.
I guess I'm wrong. Well,
but
do you remember what tubes are in the final?
6136 or
6146s maybe.
6146. Okay.
6146. That's a common final output tube, and I would just start looking for, because it's got 1 or 2 in it.
2.
I'd start looking for them because you're gonna need them anyway, and that might be the problem.
Yep. I just verified those are 6146s.
And do you have any test equipment,
Alpha.
Sam?
No, like I said, I'm all very new to this. I just want to get on the air and so like
Yeah,
the hard
as I say, if we get him on the air at 50 watts, he wouldn't care.
yeah, that's the thing. That's kind of where I'm at now, is that like, because it seems like as I get more into this, it seems like there's like 100 hobbies in one, right? And they all look really awesome. And
you can't believe the different routes and things you can do in ham radio.
But the number one thing for me, I just, if you guys know of anything like cheap or used or anything, like I can just get on the air now. Like I haven't had a HF QSL, right? Like I really want to just do this and then go down that route. And so that's where I want to start. And because, I don't know. I mean, everything I read online is that, there's a bunch probably that needs to be done on this radio. And that sounds like a really fun thing to do. But I also just want to play radio too.
Yeah, maybe you need to try to find a used ham radio.
That's what I'm thinking. So if you guys know anywhere to go on that one, like I don't want to start doing eBay. That scares the heck out of me.
Yeah, look in the group here. Try to find a used HF rig, and go to the club meetings and put the word out.
Okay.
Yeah.
If anybody's got one for sale, I don't have, or I would make you an offer, but I don't have one for sale. I just sold one of my K3s about a couple months ago. I had 2 of them. I sold one of them, anticipating buying a K4, and I don't think they're ever going to ship them.
Yeah.
So now I wish I had my other K3 back.
But like I said, that Icom IC718, brand new, $620.
Right.
And I think there's a $50 rebate on it. So $40 or $50 rebate on it. So hamradio.com.
Okay.
And I have one. Unfortunately, I screwed mine up while I was doing some work on it, and it doesn't work right now. And I need to get mine fixed, which is probably going to end up costing me a couple $100. But I love the radio. When I was using it, it worked great.
Yeah, I just need something no frills. I just want,
Oh yeah, it's
SSB and CW and I'm not going to put up too many antennas, right? Maybe 40 and 20 meters, right? I just something.
Yeah.
Just pick a band and build an antenna for it.
Yeah.
When you get tired of that band, modify that antenna for another band.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Well, and a lot of times you can cheat a 40 and make it work on 15. So
yeah, always will. 40 and 15 will work together. A good antenna for 40 is a vertical because it has a good low angle radiation. If you want to work DX, that means distance.
Whatever work,
like working Europe with 20 watts, stuff like that. You can do it.
Honestly, I'd put up whatever fits on your property and start with that.
I've worked Australia with 5 watts on 10 meters.
I have absolutely no doubt about that. I wish I had clarification of it, but I worked Japan from a hotel room in Kansas City on 10 meters with about 5 or 12 watt, whatever it was. It was a converted CB, so no more than 12 watts. But yeah, the guy had a JA call, so unless he was BSing me.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt it at all, Don.
Yeah, I had my there was a light. There was a balcony, and there was a light on each end of the balcony. and I taped the end of the dipole with a bunch of black tape to each end of the.
Well, I worked a station in Hawaii on 10 meter CW that was in one of those hotels with a piece of wire hanging over the balcony.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. When 10 meters is up, it's awesome.
Yeah. Yep. Didn't take much power to work the
Yeah.
world.
When I was in England, and that was about 90 through, let's see, 90 through 92 in that house. I had a half-wave or half-size G5 RV set up as kind of, it wasn't set up straight out. It was kind of a semi-inverted V. But all I had was 10-meter radio. And I made contacts all over, basically from the Med to the Azores and Eastern Europe. Had a ball.
Well, years ago, when 10 meters was opened, I went to Lowe's and I bought a piece of aluminum tubing, 10 foot long. I made a ground plane vertical on the roof of my house. I worked 40 countries in one day. And about a week, I had worked 100 countries on 10 meters.
I have a 10-meter, well, it could be 6-meter if I shortened it, but I have a 10-meter center fed dipole vertical around here somewhere. I mean, but it's aluminum up and down. Yeah. I need to find that and put it up. At least to get me on 10.
10's been opening a little bit. Haven't been down there or up there for a while, but a couple of weeks ago, 10 meters was opening up some.
Well, I've noticed just shortwave listening that a lot of the, 17 megahertz, 18 megahertz, et cetera, have opened up. So.
Oh yeah, Mike.
During the daytime.
Mike here, I guess he left for a minute. He's been doing a lot of DX on 17 meters. He got that new radio. He's having a blast working FT8.
I'm here, Ken. I just dropped my video because it's locking up over here, the Zoom session. So I figured if I had less bandwidth, maybe I could watch you guys.
Yeah.
And hear what everybody's got to say. It's locked up twice now.
Well,
are you sure you want to hear what we have to say?
Yeah, we don't have much to say.
I just don't want you to talk bad about me, so I'm gonna listen.
Oh, okay. Well, we could do that anyway, because you can't frown at us.
Hey, Mike, I really appreciate your help on this beacon I've been working on, Mike. I appreciate you being there.
Well, Ken, being able to talk to you, I'm understanding how it works. And when I get new antennas, I'm going to be able to use Whisper in a way, to evaluate that antenna.
Exactly right. Yeah.
And even after I move mine, I'll be able to see what it's doing.
Hey, it was pretty amazing to me that whenever I changed my polarization on this 2 meter Yagi, that my signal went down at your location. That's why I was hoping Peter would come on. It should go up at his location.
Yeah. Plus, you're hitting the side of my beam.
Yeah.
Because I'm pointed south and you're directly east of me.
Yeah. And I'm pointed toward Norman.
Yeah.
You're off.
I thought you pointed west.
No, it's southwest.
You're southwest now?
Yeah. I did point it west there for a test, but I've got it back to southwest now.
Oh, okay.
So those people down there can copy me, because I know you're going to be able to copy me.
Yeah, because you're right back at a -2, -3.
Yeah.
On the DP.
The nice thing about this Whisper Net, I can see how well you're copying me.
And that's the other neat thing is we're using computers and the internet to help us in our amateur radio.
Yeah. So if you're in a computer, Sam, You got to get digital stuff going, and you can combine computers, ham radio, and all that stuff.
Yeah, I it looks really cool, the digital stuff. I've just been, with the SDR, I can see all the activity on like the digital modes, and it's been really fun to see, what comes in at certain times of night. And all the DX stuff. But I was actually fascinated is that people are connecting like those hybrids, like the 520 up to digital modes, and doing all that. But what's really neat is that people are building external digital VFOs, and making them totally like computer control. I mean, it's way beyond what I can do, but it's absolutely amazing what those Arduino things that people build. And it's pretty cool how they're marrying that, like, 40, 50-year-old tech with those digital modes.
Oh, we have a chat page called Discord. The group does.
Mhm.
Everybody needs to get on there. I wish they'd put that in the club newsletter, but it's a video. We can get on there, and it's like a chat room, instant chat room. So you can get on there and ask questions and help each other. And Mike and I communicate on there quite a bit during this time that I'm getting this digital beacon set up. And Peter and Norman's been on there too, but he's busy all the time. It's a pitch when you have to work for a living. You don't have time for ham radio.
I'm about ready to give notice to my hobby job, I think.
Are you?
Yeah.
Well, you've made some money, and I guess you got your new radio, and that's kind of what you set out to do, wasn't it, Ken?
Yeah, I got up out and about, and it's just kind of wearing me down now.
Yeah.
So, and we're about to go serious COVID again.
Yeah.
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 So might be time.
Oh, sorry.
Speaking of that radio, I got to get busy and get that thing going, but I'm still messing around with a little QCX. I ordered the GPS from Hans, and my 50-watt amplifier, and a couple other little bits and toys to go with it. But I want to get the GPS on it and get the frequency calibrated.
Yeah.
That's about the easiest way I know to do it.
I'm using one of these little QRP Labs beacon kit things. I bought it several years ago. And
QRS thing or something, was it?
Say again? What'd you say?
Well, the what are they? QRS or Q3?
It's QRP Labs.
Yeah.
It's called a U3.
Right.
Yeah. Ultimate 3. And I built it several years ago. I've used it for a lot of different beacons over the years, but right now, I've got it set up for 10 meters. So it puts out a signal on 10, and that goes into my, I have a 2-meter Elecraft transverter that transfers that up to 2-meter band. So, and the transverter puts out 10, well, it's supposed to put out 20 watts. I'm running it at about 10. So the output of that little QRP Labs drives it. The output of the QRP Labs is, I don't know, 250 milliwatts. I've got it cut way back. As a matter of fact, I even have an attenuator between it and the transverter because it's overdriving the transverter. But it's working pretty good. And I've been running it now for maybe 5-6 days. Seem to have pretty much all the bugs out. Moved the antenna today. It was on the side of the tower. I moved it up where I could rotate it. So that's, and I changed the polarity from vertical to horizontal. And man, that was really weird. Mike was copying me in the +11, +10, say, signal to noise ratio. When I went to higher in the air and changed from vertical to horizontal, now my signal to noise ratio is down around 0 or below. So man, just by changing polarities, 10 dBs difference at least at Mike's house.
Well,
So when you
I-
get up, when you get up in VHF, polarity makes a difference.
well, I haven't yet really. I got that radio, that 9700, and I really have not played with it hardly at all. I've been busy at work and then messing with this other thing, trying to get that on and going. But
Well,
that'll go direct 2-meter
yes, that's right.
WJTX
Mhm.
or yeah.
Yeah.
And so I ought to be able to get up and play here in a little bit
yeah.
when I get busy and
Hey,
do that.
I had this antenna when it was on the sidearm pointing toward Norman. I worked a guy a few nights ago that was in Kingfisher on FT8. And I couldn't even, the antenna was mounted fixed on the side of the tower, so I couldn't rotate it. And it was vertical. So I was kind of surprised at that. And also copied a guy, which would be on the back of my antenna. He was in eastern Oklahoma, almost Arkansas border.
Huh.
And I was on there for a couple nights looking at that. Then I got started on building this beacon thing. But yeah, I'd appreciate it if you get on, see if you can copy this beacon, when you get to it.
I need to get busy. You need to get busy and do that.
I'm doing this to try to get the people in the Norman club to try to get on digital mode up on the VHF bands and learn how to do that. And a lot of them, if you're a technician or what, you can still get on 2 meters and you can still do digital mode and you can still make, and you can even do satellite. I copied a lot of satellites here lately. They have an uplink on 2 meters and a downlink on 440.
Hey, Ken, I have a other Ken. I just had with the QCX question. I have limiting soldering skills that I am going to try to work on. But where are we on difficulty on like beginner, like a few Pixie kits, few other kits, and then jump into that? Or I mean, I watched YouTube videos and it seems like it's hard, but maybe not horrible because it seems like a fun radio to build.
Well, a Pixie's, you have very little money in it. Even if you screw up, you learn something while you're doing it. When you build it, you're not going to be able to talk too far, but we need to do a Pixie, like a Pixie night and just all be in the general neighborhood. And, anyway, but a useful kit to improve your solder skills is the 20-watt dummy load from QRP Labs. It's nothing critical, and you can get in there and you can make a whole lot of solder connections, and that'll improve your skill. And if you get a reasonably decent fine tipped iron, something, if you try to do that QCX, do the plus. It's a very open, spacious board.
Okay.
And your chances, if you follow their instructions, are really quite good. But if it doesn't quite work, we can still sort it out. It's a pretty nice kit, and for $55, I think it is, and then what, 20 for the box for the case. That's a heck of a little radio. But it would be, it's not a true beginner kit.
Sure.
I'd do something else first. But the Pixies are awesome because you don't have much in it, and it gives you all the same kind of deal. You got to pick your components. The club paperwork, the club instructions are really quite good on it, and they'll help it out. And that's something we need to do. Mark Klein, yeah. Anyway, we ought to have a couple of Pixie nights at Elmer night.
That sounds good. So Ken, what are you working on a kit now? You said.
Oh, I'm. It's hard to call it a kit. I'm trying to put the connector and header on that GPS thing. I mean, it's just literally putting the plug on it.
What are you going to?
There I am.
So what are
putting
you
a plug
going?
on it and putting a header on it to make some connections.
So is this a QRP kits GPS?
Yeah, it's their GPS, and I'm going to use it with the QCX to
Okay.
calibrate the
Okay.
crystal.
I
and
have
then
one of
the-
those GPSs, and I have it in a
then
plastic box, and it's sitting on top of my QRP Labs
Really,
transmitter right now.
not the
And-
earlier ones had more capability. The latest one that they put out is stripped down because it's what they can get, but it'll still do what I need.
Mhm. Well, this one here, I'm amazed how well it locks, and it does not have an external antenna.
Wow. Okay. Well, this one came with a nice little mag mount
Antenna?
on a 2-meter cable, so I
That's,
can.
that's the antenna?
Yeah.
That looks
Yes,
like the antenna on my GPS.
It's an active. Yeah, it's an active antenna.
Mhm.
They say.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm gonna hook this up first to the QCX and see if I can use that to do the calibration.
Yeah.
I just took the standard numbers that they give you because the 27 megahertz crystal is usually 27 megahertz and 4K or something, but
Yeah.
this will
Well,
knock it down to what it. And I think the other night when I was trying to use that in the whisper mode, that I was probably just a little off the frequency,
mhm.
but I didn't have any real way to check it and tune it.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I'm going to try this.
You like I said before, you get it up and running, and put your ham radio on a dummy load, and maybe even put your whisper beacon thing on a dummy load, and copy yourself, and then you'll know if you're on frequency or not.
Yeah.
That's what I do right now. I'm even though Mike is copying my 2-meter whisper beacon, I'm also copying it here in the shack, and I can see that I'm transmitting. I can see the trace on the waterfall, and it decodes it.
Well, I was looking. I didn't have the computer connected to my my radio, but I was looking on 40 meter, and I could definitely see it coming on. It was making power.
Yeah.
And I was getting a good.
Getting the trace on the waterfall.
Yeah, I was getting a good solid trace on the waterfall. So I know it's at least it's putting out. I don't know what it's putting out, and I don't know if it's on frequency.
That's why you need to get set up where you can decode it and see if it's working.
Yeah.
I know one time I built a homebrew receiver, and I had the darndest time trying to figure out why it was off frequency. And what it was, I had the sideband upside down, and so I had my local oscillator on the wrong side of the carrier. And I could not decode that sucker until I figured that out. That's not the case here, because this factory made thing, they've got all that figured out.
Well, I also bought the little 50-watt kit, power amp kit.
The amplifier?
Power amplifier kit.
Yeah.
It's all pieces right now, but I'll get crazy on that pretty soon. And I also have a little crystal replacement kit. I bought one of those.
I ordered a OCXO for this QRP Labs U3. That should get my frequency a little bit more stable. It drifts whenever I first power it up for a while, and it's still got a little bit of drift in it, but not enough to keep people from decoding me. But I'm still going to try to fix it a little bit. It's drifting.
I've got a question on the 9700 with the reference input. Would, being that it has an internal problem, I guess Mark already figured out though, it can still hop a little bit, can it? Even with a disciplined frequency on the reference. I was thinking
yeah, I think they have a fix for that. Is that what Mark was looking at, the 9700? Yeah, I think there's a fix. There is a fix for that. Is that what you bought? Your new one is it? A
Yeah,
97?
that's what the new radio is. Yeah.
Yeah, because you know, um, I'm interested in EME, moon bounce, and
Mhm.
you have to be right on you can't drift there. And I watched YouTube on a guy in Australia that was using one of them for EME.
Mhm.
I think it was on 70 centimeters,
Yeah.
and
I think I watched that video.
yeah, and
Yeah.
he had a fix for it, so it can be done.
Yeah. There's two approaches, I think, but one of them overdrive, one of them just overloads
Yeah,
the local oscillator to get
yeah.
it to behave. And
Whenever Mark first told me about that, I didn't I didn't think that was the way to go. But
yeah,
after watching that video, if it works, go for it.
yeah,
It does seem kind of strange, though, doesn't it?
yeah, yeah. Anything with computers in it, though. Of course, the old stuff used to drift plenty. So
Oh yeah, yeah,
anyway, but I was kind of thinking, I bought this the prog rock, programmable rock, the little crystal replacement,
Mm.
and that could be GPS disciplined as well.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, I'm just wondering if that had a good solid 10 meg signal
Yeah.
as a reference on the 9700, if that might be better than what's in it. But don't know until we try, I guess.
Yeah. Well, these old transverters that I buy, they're Elecraft, but they was designed 10 or 15 years ago to work with the K2, and they're not stable enough to do EME. And so I completely disabled their local oscillator, and
Mhm.
I use a programmable GPS for the local oscillator. And I've got two of those programmable GPSs, and they really work good, and they're rock solid. And I'm using one on this 2 meter whisper beacon that I'm running on the transverter. But so the transverter is rock solid, but the QRP labs that's going into it is drifting a little bit. And I have that OCXO oven, a temperature controlled oven oscillator
Mhm.
that it's a little kit, and it's pretty cheap, but it looks like it's going to be kind of small parts in there, to build. But I'm going to try that, and I think that'll stabilize it. Because I know that it's got a 27 megahertz crystal in there, and
Right.
it drifts a little bit on 10 meters. And that's the IF for the transverter, 10 meters. So I have to use it on 28 megahertz.
Well, that's another reason I got to quit, so I can get down and start working on this stuff.
Yeah, it's fun to do stuff. I seem to have a project, something different going all the time. I have to be busy doing something, but I learned from it, and I love doing it.
Yeah, yeah. That's the deal, really. I played with Arduino earlier, quite a little bit with them, and then I kind of faded away, and I just pulled out my Arduino box, and
Yeah,
there are all kinds of things in there begging to be played with. So I got to give me some time.
yeah,
Anyway, well, knock on wood, next week maybe I'll have that QCX working on Whisper.
yeah. That'd be good.
My short-term goal.
I need people to copy my beacon so I can find out how well it's working. So far, we got Mike and Peter's the only two that's
I
getting
don't have
on.
much in the way of 2 meter of any VHF, UHF antennas, just the tape measure and
Yeah,
a basic ground plane,
yeah.
and I've got an Ed Fong out of tune. I need to work on it.
Well, you
J
can build
pole.
you can build a 2 meter Yagi pretty easy, man.
Yeah.
Nothing to them. You don't need 4 or 5 elements.
Well, he was
Yeah.
talking about the J-pole and the DC short circuit, you know, to take care of static on his talk, which was really nice. I enjoyed that a lot. But our little tape measure antenna with a hairpin do the same thing, because the hairpins are short just as much as the J pole.
Well,
So
that, you know, I don't know if you remember or not, but that I think I built 432 megahertz antennas pretty close together there. Well, 2 of them was for the moon bounce, but the first 2 was one of them was a hairpin, and the other one was a gamma match. And those are just so easy to build. And I'm pretty sure I've got this one. Okay. See if I can get that thing to focus. See, there's there's the match. This is a 70 centimeter 6 element 1-inch square tubing, and I guess these elements here are, I don't know what they look like. They're about 3/8 diameter, but there's the match.
Okay,
and
when you put the hairpin on,
yeah,
and you're doing your tuning, are you tuning it by closing the gap and opening the gap with that hairpin?
yeah, you can do that once you get it close.
Okay.
And the nice thing about this hairpin match, you can set this thing up in the ham shack and take it out and put it up on the pole, and it's still resonant right there. It don't move.
Really?
I like the hairpin match. And that's the one that I was experimenting on to braze aluminum. So I brazed those aluminum elements onto the aluminum boom.
Was that using the what is it? What is it? Aluma weld or something? That I know Harbor Freight's got something that they claim will do that.
Seems like this was called Shearwell or something. I got it on Amazon. It really wasn't all that expensive, and it wasn't too hard to do. You're gonna have a good torch, so I used a acetylene torch, a acetylene brazing torch, mainly because that's a 1 inch and a half square tubing boom. It takes some heat to heat that thing up.
Yeah, that would.
On the EME antenna, that boom's 14 feet long, and it sucks that heat away from what you're trying to weld. So you got to have some heat to make that one work. Pretty easy on the small 5 or 6 element Yagi, but
if you don't do a conductive boom, if you use a non-conductive boom, are you still going to get a decent signal out?
Oh yeah, but I'll just use a aluminum boom, aluminum driven elements, and I braze them to it. And then, of course, your driven elements insulated from the boom. You could do a gamma match. Gamma match is pretty easy to do. The 10 element 70 centimeter antenna that I've got up in the air now has a gamma match on it. It works good. So you could build a 2-meter Yagi pretty easy.
Well, I'll be probably playing with that next.
I'll use square tubing on the boom, because if I was going to brace to it, it gives me a good flat surface to brace to.
I can.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna turn off Whisper for a minute and borrow the 2-meter antenna for the Aries net.
Okay, I'll let you do that.
All righty.
Thank you much, Mike. Well, I'm gonna continue running this beacon, and I've been running in the daytime. I started every morning and run it till about 10 o'clock at night. Haven't run it overnight yet, but I don't know if there'd be any activity overnight anyway. So
Well,
been
2
shutting
meter
it
would be
down.
kind of, yeah, I think it'd be kind of weak.
Do what?
I think 2 meters, I think it'd be kind of weak overnight, but
Yeah. So I've just been shutting it down overnight.
uh, yeah, what else? Yeah, I just got to get some time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even when you're retired, you need more time.
I know, and that is the truth. It's amazing.
I couldn't believe how little time I had after I retired.
I know it, Chris. I'm the same way. I don't know how I had time to work.
I said that to someone just last week.
I've slowed down some though. I'm 82, so I've started to slow down a little bit. I've been retired for I retired in 2000, so I've been retired for quite some time. Really enjoying retirement.
So how busy have you actually been, Ken? I mean, like every day, 8 hours a day, or what?
I work every day, but maybe not 10 hours, but I'm doing something every day, either ham radio related or taking care of this 2.5 acres and the house and all that crap. Keeping the lawnmowers running and everything. I just bought a new lawnmower, as a matter of fact. I bought a new Cub Cadet 0-turn riding lawnmower. Boy, it gets the job done now.
My old mower is about, I don't know, all of 10 years old now,
Yeah.
maybe
Well,
11.
I had a Cub Cadet. I still have the old Cub Cadet. It's not a 0-turn, but it's really been a good one. It's about probably 15 years old, and I just keep it up.
Mine's an old Craftsman / I guess Husqvarna. I think Husky made them for Sears, and it's been good.
Well, both of these Cub Cadets, my old one and my new one, have crawler engines on them, and I really like that crawler engine. It's a good one. It's a V-twin. 20.
Well, the old go-kart track out on Scott Street and I-40.
Yeah.
My in-laws owned that, and they ran Kohler motors on those little go-karts, and they ran the bejeebers out of them.
Yeah.
And they take them, run them a half a season, and they tear them down, clean them up, maybe put rings in if they had a smoker, and put it back on and run it another half season. Then they'd sell it for like 20% of what they paid for it.
Yeah. They got their money's worth out of it.
Well, the first thing they did is they took the governor off.
Oh, yeah.
And so they wrap them out just as hard as they go.
Yeah, you don't need a governor on a go-kart.
Well, no, they took all the fun out of it. And
yeah,
most of the other big business kart, they all kept the governors on, but over at the Comet track, they took it off and let them run. You could get down in the end and drift the cart a little bit. But those little Kohler motors were awesome.
Yeah, they are. They're good engines. I think that on this new lawnmower, it's a 24 horsepower. On the old one, it's a 20 horsepower. Took me a little while to learn how to do that 0-turn thing, man. It's quick steering.
Mine is supposed to be a 12-inch radius, but I'm not sure. I think it's new math.
That's quick turn, isn't it?
I've driven 0-turns
I much prefer a steering wheel. Thank you very much.
Oh, it's okay after you get used to this thing.
Maybe I'm just not coordinated enough.
I drove it up into the garden shed whenever I first got it. When I got through doing a little mowing, I drove it up in the garden shed. It was kind of tricky getting it in there, but then you got to back it out, and everything is ass backwards on that zero turn thing when you move them sticks back and forth trying to back out. So I had to really go slow on that.
We have an electric lift at work that is joystick driven,
Oh yeah.
and one of them is very touchy, and the other 3 or 4 are pretty stable. But
Yeah.
you get that one, and you gotta watch out.
Quick steering, huh?
Yeah, it doesn't want to track. It just wants to just snake down the aisle, knocking things off the wall as you go. I don't know. I think I'd like a zero turn. I think my lot. I got a really odd shaped lot, and there's a triangle piece out on the front.
Yeah.
And it's just hard to get into corners. And
I've got so many obstacles here. Zero turn helps you get around that stuff pretty good. I got a lot of trees and antennas and buildings and bunch of crap to have to mow around.
Oh, this is Steve, KG5BWE. I think I'm going to have to call it an evening.
Well, Steve, from Tuttle, Oklahoma, right?
Yep. Just about halfway between Tuttle and Newcastle.
You know that's where Tuttle, Oklahoma is where they made Heine wine. Did you know that?
Yes, I did. It was right behind but when it burned, am I still there?
Yep, I'm still copying you.
When it burned down, they moved it down behind the library in Alec.
They did.
Yeah, they did. And they actually do make it now.
Really? Well, I made some myself, and I had a brother-in-law that lived in Tuttle, and I gave him a few bottles of it. I even had a label on it, Heine wine. I gave him a few bottles of it so he could give it to the mayor down there and get a kick out of that.
The liquor store here off from Highway 4 and 37 sells Heine wine.
Really?
Yeah.
Where's it made at?
Honestly, I don't know. I'd have to go back and dig it up and look at the label, but it's made locally.
Okay, I gotta know, what is it made of?
Grapes.
Mostly grapes.
Oh, okay, it is actual wine. I wasn't sure.
Yes.
Yeah, it's real wine.
Sugar wine or something else.
Many years
Sounds like that'd be a good name for a hot dog.
The Heine,
Well, yeah, that's why I'm wondering.
The Heine wine that I made was Merlot, and I ordered the concentrated grape juice from California. And that's how I made the wine, and it was really good.
Yeah.
Well, many years ago, it started out as a joke.
It was, and that's why I did it, and that's why I went ahead and made some, because there was no such thing as a Heine winery in Tuttle, Oklahoma, but everybody.
At that time, you couldn't even make wine legally.
Yeah.
But it grew, and people actually drove to Tuttle to go to the winery to see if it was really there. But there was red Heine, and I can't remember. There was a whole list of different wines.
It was really funny, yeah.
But now they actually do ferment the wine and sell it under a label. So, but anyway, like I said, 73.
All right,
gotta get out of here.
Nice talking to you. See you later.
Night.
Night, Steve.
Well, I should probably get out of here too and put the kid to bed. But it was really nice meeting you all.
Yep. Good talking to you, Sam.
Nice
Come
having you,
back.
Sam.
Come
All
back.
right.
Yeah.
All right, I will. Well,
We'll have to have a pixie night one of these nights.
That sounds like a blast.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun.
Cool. Well, thanks all. Have a good evening.
All right.
Good
You
night.
too,
Good night,
guys.
Steve.
Bye.
Sam, sorry.
That's okay. Bye.
Ah,
Yep. I'm gonna get out of here too, guys.
okay. Yeah, I think I am too. I got some things to do. Of course, it's 9 o'clock here in Indy, so,
Yeah.
you know,
Past your bedtime, isn't it?
well, not tonight because I don't actually have to be at work till 8 tomorrow.
Hmm.
And I don't actually have to do real work till 11. We're doing a class from 11 to 6 tomorrow for some folks out in Seattle.
A Zoom class?
Yeah, a Zoom class. We got we got folks in Washington, Oregon, and some folks in Alaska. So we're not even starting this class until 11 Eastern.
Yeah. So that people have time to get up in Alaska.
Well, yeah, and they're up at 7, and we're expecting them to have their eyes open at 7 o'clock. And you know, we're going to be real easy on them for the first hour. Well, we started it today, and I think we were entertaining enough that they will bear with us and be back tomorrow.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna go. See you later.
Night, Ken. Night, folks.
Night.
I'm out of here too.
See you guys next time.
Adios.
Ciao.
Hello, Carl.
Howdy.
Outstanding. K5BL, Victor. Evening there, Galen. K5BL, no traffic.
Well, there's Phil.
Evening to you.
Hello.
K5HXT, Mike. Good evening, Galen to the net from KB5.
I've got another little project that I'm kind of working on. It's going to be a mast in the backyard. That's just a 1/2 meter out of 5 meters. And that's the axle that is going to pivot on. It got pretty quiet.
Did you guys hear if that gossip net was going to be on the 2 meter or where that frequency that was going to be at?
Good evening, Terry and the group. 85 UTO with you. Closed off, sir. Thank you much. KS5 UZA, Rodney. KS5 UZA. All right. Thank you very much. KD5. off the job and downpour here for about 2 hours.
It's Sonic.
We got wet in Noble. I glad it's so wet out there because we got soft here in Noble. It's still one of the bird baths up about 2 inches. It was pretty dry. Now it's full. But that's about all I have to start. And Miss Lucky has a CC. I believe she is out of town. Let's see. So we'll go down to KT5.
Phil, he's not buying that.
W5NOR repeater. Car that you can, hope you get all that computer stuff all walled out. Yep, they make it do everything like a new car. Everything's different. Mr. Victor, K5BL. Hey there, Terry and the group K5BL here, and just to everyone tonight, hope all is well out there in radio land. Let's see, I've got you wouldn't believe my antenna set up, but I've loved this a lot better than last week when I was sitting out in the garage on my emergency radio. Don't have to do it this week. It's instead of the cool and comfort of the home. So that's all good. Got a nice little rain here today, and I understand from Danny, not necessarily like a lot of rain in his house, but it makes my lawn look very, very nice. So that's all. Great, thank you for doing that. Appreciate it. Coming through y'all out there. This is K5BL. All right, Mr. Victor, we appreciate it. And we'll get down to Mr. John, KF5YT. KF5YT, John. All right, nothing heard. KC5ILMV. Well, 5 TLC. Well, first of all, I'm going to have to get in the family of the silent key that we heard tonight, especially Conrad, which I met him about 2 times at the Boomerang and McDonald's. So talking about 2 times. So like I said, I'm sorry. Anyway, and the thing that we cannot escape is our death. We're going to face one of these days in the future. So keep a condolence for all of those. Anyway, for me, I got my roof done last Thursday, so we'll still have to wait for the glass that being busted by the hail. So I do not know when they're going to be done, but at least I got my. We'll wait for that. Anyway, I didn't expect the rain today, so we got some anyway. Hot back up again. Anyway, other than that, I'll cut it back to you, Terry. KI5 TLC, KC5 ILM.
All right, Mr. B. Well, today was a good day to test that new roof out. That was for sure. If you got any rain like we did down here. And I hope it all works out in the long for you. That moves us down to Mr. Mike, KE5ASN. Okay, nothing heard there.
Say goodnight, Sonic.
Good night, Phil.
Good night. There we go. Later.